What's up, Marwen fans? This is Raphael from C Manga, and welcome back to another review of the Breaker New Waves. This week's chapter 184. So, with this week's chapter, we actually divert from the action-packed fighting we had between Shi-Woon and Jong-Chan from last week, and the chapter entirely focuses on Elder Kwon and Jae-Gal's bout. And it was a very intense but brilliant chapter. There was a lot of dialogue and conversation, so it was a bit wordy, but it definitely made up for it because it was also action packed as well. Despite the troll, the typical troll cliffhanger endings that we get. But when you've been reading the Breaker as long as I have, I think most readers are used to that, so it's not really a big deal. And I feel like this cliffhanger was a bit more suited than the ones we've had before, where it felt like it ended in mid sentence or mid scene, something like that. This wasn't as abrupt, so it's basically kind of similar to Shi-Woon kicking Jong-Chan those few chapters ago, wondering if he struck him or not. This is kind of the similar thing. Wonder if Elder Kwon has been hit by Jae-Gal or not. So Jae-Gal has more or less established himself as the most sneakiest backstabbing character in this series. This chapter highlights it more. Even with the fighting, he's always trying to win his way out of things by manipulating, twisting his opponent's mentality. And you can see when he was struggling in this fight, he's tried to gain some sort of leverage and change the pace of the fight to his advantage by talking to Kwon. It's like he even says, wait, why are we fighting to the death like this? It's like, why do you intend to fight like this? Is this due to a grudge that you can't even remember? And this really strikes a nerve with Kwon, really pees him off, and he's enraged. And he's like, whatever you think, I remember my master and the Gaiju of the Sun-Woo clan's death very well, and I remember it to this day. And it's because of you cowardly people, the Chengdu Moon and Jae-Gal, who ambushed and killed him. So Elder Kwon has never forgotten this day, and we saw that way back in the beginning of the Breaker in chapter 57. He remembers this day when he's reminded of his master, trying to remember his name, So. He remembers him quite well, and he's reminded of him by Shi-Woon because they share this kind of same mentality and philosophy. I'll die fighting my friends if I have to. And this, in regards, has made a lot of more sense, and a lot more, I'd say, links up with the way things are going, why Elder Kwon has have so much faith and loyalty towards Shi-Woon, because he respects him, that he's so willing to throw himself in front of enemy fire, do whatever it needs to be for the sake of others at this while sacrificing himself. And Elder Kwon's already seen this much with his master So, and this is something he definitely doesn't want to do again. So see again as he is Elder throwing their life away for their subordinates. And this is why Elder Kwon's putting so much on the line for Shi-Woon, because he reminds him of So much, and obviously because of Shi-Woon's own personality as well, and he's come to respect him so much. So every time Jae-Gal's like, you put so much faith in that child, like he did in this chapter again, trying to take digs at Shi-Woon, he's like, I trust that child. He don't insult our Gaiju. So as I said, he struck a nerve with Jae-Gal struck a nerve mentioning Elder Kwon's master So's death. And what made me laugh was when Jae-Gal was trying to appeal, say, what was it, you have to understand, this was the sake for the Chengdu-mon. Our position in the Mirren world was really at stake, and it's like, I've already been sentenced for 30 years of prison, I've just come out now, isn't that price enough? And Elder Kwon's like, price enough? Is like, what makes you think you've paid the price? Do you realize what you're saying after what you've done? And it's true, the cheek of it. Jae-Gal he's killed his master, and then he still continues to do malice and evil right now, and then he's asking for forgiveness. But unfortunately, this is when Elder Kwon's I'd say facade is revealed, where Jae-Gal realizes that Kwon was attacking recklessly all this time because he can't utilize his keys, so he's been, hiding that. And Jae basically thinks, yep, I've won this, and then he further goes to try and you might as well say screw with Elder Kwon by explaining that whatever the outcome is on the Seoul Tower right now, whatever faith you have in that child doesn't matter. Chun-Woo will use the detonator to destroy Seoul city because he can't go against Kaiser, as Kaiser is the one who created the Nine Arch Dragon, and he's been raising and growing, the Nine Arch Dragon all this time with, his political power and everything like that kind of rubbish. But now that Chun-Woo's become much of a burden, he's decided that he's going to destroy him along with all the ties Kaiser has. And Jae-Gal actually reveals that the Seoul Tower is rigged with explosives as well as the city, so when Chun-Woo detonates it, he's going to kill everyone in Seoul Tower and the city, and that will leave Kaiser with no one in his way. All his ties are severed, and Chun-Woo is basically really is an expendable pawn in this series right now for Kaiser, and he's just a scapegoat. So it's kind of irritating seeing how he's being so manipulated, but there you go, that's what's happening. Kaiser is all about himself. He'll use whatever chess pieces he can and throw away any chess pieces he doesn't need, like he's doing with Chun-Woo and all his subordinates as well that's following Kaiser. So yeah, that whole dialogue there, all the wordy parts there was interesting. Fight itself was amazing. Elder Kwon is overwhelming Jae-Gal despite the fact that he's wielding a sword, and even Jae-Gal himself is like, how can he attack me like this while I'm wielding a weapon? And it's like he even thinks even if I try to strike at Kwon, this will definitely lead to my death. I can't do a damn thing. And I had to laugh at that because it's like, you're younger than Kwon, you've got a sword, and Kwon is literally, he's all over you, and you can't do a thing because if you try any sort of strike, Kwon's going to kill you. So towards the end of the chapter, after all is said and done, we see Kwon and Jae-Gal both charging up their ki, and Jae-Gal is planning to defeat Elder Kwon with the blue sky flashing strike, saying that he's going to slash him up into pieces. And the way the tension and the build up towards the end was brilliant. The artwork of them gathering ki, them both charging off, particularly Elder Kwon, he looked like a missile when he flew off. The actual clash towards the end and the cliffhanger, I just loved it. This is what I've always loved about the Breakers. They're mad, like dramatic and dynamic artwork. It's always in your face, and it makes you kind of see how the movement is, how it will be animated. And I really wish this series had an animation for fight scenes like this. So yeah, definitely enjoyable chapter. I don't think that cliffhanger is all it's meant to be. When someone reveals their kind of attacks in this series, it always tends to fail, and I don't think Elder Kwon is going to die. I think I just can't see that happening, so we'll see what happens next time. But I think Jae-Gal's attack is going to fail, and maybe we'll go back to seeing Shi-Woon versus Jung-Chan. So that's more or less the chapter for this week. I enjoyed it. It was good seeing more into Elder Kwon's thoughts and feelings, things like that. And it's kind of enjoyable seeing Jae-Gal's deceptive nature all this time, and it was interesting to know the full extent of Kaiser's plan. He's pretty much using everyone he can, and he's disposing of them as he pleases. So definitely looking to see how that's all going to play out. And yeah, that's it for the today. So you guys know the usual, leave any comments you feel about the chapter, and I'll speak to you guys next week. Take care.